Hey, we're at Mosaic Foods today with Chef Eric Watson. We are cooking French. Classic?
Classic French, yep.
All right, what are we making?
We're going Coq Au Vin today. So this is the kind of the classic dish that first kind of compelled me to want to kind of take an interest in classic cooking. So it's basically, from a classical standpoint, it means rooster and wine. But of course, nowadays most folks don't use rooster, don't have rooster. Back in the day, it was considered peasant food, so they were just kind of using older birds, roosters, whatever they had left. So today, typically we're just using like a capon or any sort of store-bought chicken, so it doesn't require as much cooking time, but flavors are similar.
Right, so we're braising in red wine, basically.
Yep, a lot of red wine.
Well, let's get started.
All right, well, we're going to start out with, there's a lot of classical variations of this, and I'm kind of putting my own personal twist on it. However, classically, it does have some sort of bacon fats. So basically, we just need to render this down, and by that, of course, I just mean we're going to make it nice and crunchy, cook a lot of the fat out of it.
Does it always involve red wine?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of different variations of Coq Au Vin. So there are variations that use Riesling, different types of French white wines, right, for sure. Okay. Beaujolais. So if you look at a classic French cookbook, there's a lot of different versions of this dish. This just tends to be the most common version. Nice and golden brown there, crispy. We're just going to pop this out into a separate pan so it doesn't burn. And we're going to pull the chicken over here. We've got dark meat is what I prefer to use. So we've got the legs and thighs here. We've got salt. We've got black pepper. We're going to season one side, get it in the pan, and then season the other side. Put the seasoned side down. So we'll season the other side here. Again, a little salt and pepper. And then I'm going to reintroduce some of that bacon fat back in there to make sure it caramelizes properly. At this point, just be patient. You know, a common mistake is to keep checking it, but just kind of let it set. And then obviously once it's caramelized properly, it just naturally releases on its own.
Yeah, so if it's sticking to your pan, right, that means it's not quite ready to go.
Yeah, like the pan wasn't hot enough or it just hasn't cooked long enough.
Okay.
Keep that fat moving around in the pan. All right, so we've got pretty well caramelized on the first side there. You can take it even a little bit further than that if you want, but you got a nice golden brown color there. And then again, we just have to be a little patient, let this caramelize, make sure that fond, those particles in the bottom of the pan build up, get a nice golden brown fond on the bottom.
And that's going to give us some flavor in our next step, right?
That's where the majority of the flavor comes from, yeah. Okay. All right, so these are ready to go here. We're just going to pop them out onto a pan. I'm just going to keep all that fat in there for now. We're going to add our mirepoix onions. We're going to add some carrots. I like to keep the garlic whole cloves, because you're talking about a lengthy braising process. So a little salt and pepper, dried thyme leaf here. Just sprinkle the mirepoix with that. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and deglaze this pan. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. We can add the tomato paste now, which is not a bad idea. A little bit of tomato paste to give it some extra color. We usually add a little bit of demi-glace, but since most people don't have demi-glace hanging around at their house, it's okay to cheat and use a little bit of beef base or beef bouillon, that sort of thing. Now we're going to deglaze with a little brandy or cognac.
All right, step back.
Pour it off the flame for a sec. Flame it up. And then we start adding our red wine. So, good amount of red wine here. We're going to add just a touch of chicken stock. So we'll stir that in, make sure that tomato paste and that beef base dissolve there. We're going to reintroduce that bacon there, make sure we use that. And basically what we have to do is make sure this comes back up to a simmer, but we can go ahead and put the chicken in first. Some of that moisture is going to evaporate, the sauce will thicken up. If it doesn't thicken as much as you'd like, you can always thicken it after the cooking process as well. All right, so we've got our Coq Au Vin, the beginning of our Coq Au Vin back up to a simmer here. You know, we're going to cover it with foil or a tight fitting lid of some sort. We're going to pop it in an oven at 325 degrees.
So 325 degrees, how long are we going to take in the oven? 325
degrees is going to take approximately 2 to 4 hours. Okay. Keeping in mind that because of course it's not rooster nowadays, you don't have to cook it for that long, but I like to cook it for a good 4 hours just to make sure it's nice and tender. Okay. So then we've got our finished product.
Oh man, that sauce is really thick.
Nice and thick. Got some nice depth and color to it. Nice aroma. That's really what we're looking for there. Okay, so at this point we're ready to start assembling this Coq Au Vin. So what I like to do, it's kind of a heavier, richer dish. So what I like to do is liven it up a little bit with what's called gremolata. And gremolata is a mixture of garlic, parsley, and lemon zest. And you can use orange zest, lime zest, you can use different greens. As long as you have these 3 ingredients, basically, we're going to bring it together with olive oil. Classically, it's served on ossobuco, which is an Italian braised dish.
So that would be an incredibly rich dish too.
Absolutely. So it has a lot of similarities. That's why I like to use it on Coq Au Vin to kind of brighten the dish a little bit.
Add a little bit of acidity.
Absolutely. So we're going to add some parsley here. We're going to dump in our lemon zest, and we'll throw in some garlic, and of course salt, pepper, and then we're just going to kind of bring it together with a little olive oil. Just kind of bring it together. It's got kind of a pesto likeness to it, obviously minus the nuts. And then at this point, what we're going to do is take our Coq Au Vin. We're going to kind of plate this up family style here. So we got a nice rich brown sauce there. We got our dark meat, looking pretty delicious. So just kind of spoon the sauce over the top. Classically, Coq Au Vin would be paired with, say, like a simple roasted potato. So we've got potatoes that are seasoned with garlic and parsley, a little butter, finished with some chicken stock. Coq Au Vin is made with mushrooms as well. So what I like to do, rather than braising the mushrooms into it and then you really can't identify the mushrooms afterwards, I like to just top it with fresh sauteed mushrooms afterwards here. And then we've got our gremolata to give it that sort of vibrancy. Nice family style dish, ready to pass around. Coq Au Vin.
Just gonna dig right in?
Yeah, dig in.
All right, gotta get some of this chicken. And I want some of that sauce.
Super tender.
Yeah, it falls apart. This sauce looks so good.
Good.
Wow. This is definitely a must-try dish. Yeah. It's a nice touch, definitely, with the gremolata. Thank you, Chef. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Make sure you give this a shot. It's a lot easier than I thought. Maybe for you, too. It is Coq Au Vin. It's easy as that. Chef, thanks again. We're here at Mosaic Foods. Check out all of our recipes online at inforumtv.com or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/I'mHungryForMore. See you next time.